Part 3, Formula for the Inverse of a 2 by 2 Matrix. Use an augmented matrix to find the inverse of matrix A with the entries A, B, C, D. So I'm going to do this, and when I find the inverse, I will have a formula for the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix that if you memorize that formula, it can be a little bit faster. So I'm going to set this up, A, B, C, D, and I'll write this with the identity matrix next to it. And then I'm going to put this in reduced row echelon form. So the first thing, my new row 1 will be 1 over A times the new row 1, so that I can have 1 in the first row, first column. So when I do that, I get 1 B over A, 1 over A, 0. Then my next step, I'm going to make this C 0. So I'm going to say my new row 2 will be negative C row 1 plus row 2. And when I do that, my row 1 staying the same. So I have 1 B over A, 1 over A, 0. And then row 2. Negative C times 1 plus C is 0. Next I have negative C times B over A plus D. So negative CB over A plus, to find a common denominator, DA over A. So I have AD minus CB, if I switch the order here, over A. So this is AD minus BC over A. Then negative C times 1 over A plus 0, so negative C over A. And then negative C times 0 plus 1 is still 1. Then I'm going to keep going. Every time I'm going to find a common denominator when I need to and simplify as much as I can. So now my next step would be to make my new row 2, this element right here, to be 1. So I'm going to multiply that row by the reciprocal. So my new row 2 will be A over AD minus BC times the old row 2. So my row 1 staying the same. My row 2, I'm multiplying that whole row by the A over AD minus BC. So this becomes 1. If I multiply negative C over A by that reciprocal and find a common denominator, I'm going to get negative C over AD minus BC. And for this last element, I will get A over AD minus BC. The next thing I want to do is make this B over A and 0. So I'm going to say my new row 1 will be negative B over A times row 2 plus row 1. So my new row 1, my row 2 staying the same here. This will become a 1, a 0. And again, if I do all of this, find a common denominator, simplify, this becomes D over AD minus BC. And this becomes negative B over AD minus BC. So this right here is the inverse matrix because I have the identity matrix on the left. Notice that they're all over AD minus BC. So I'm going to put that 1 over AD minus BC as a scalar in front of the matrix. Then I have D, negative B, negative C, A inside the matrix. So to find the inverse of a matrix like this matrix A here, I'm going to do 1 over AD minus BC. So 1 over AD minus BC. And then I'm going to switch the A and the D. So switch those elements on the main diagonal and then make the other two negative. So let's practice one. Let's use that equation to find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix. So here's our formula. And now I'm going to use that to find the inverse of this matrix A. We found the inverse of this matrix earlier, so we should get the same answer as we did then. So I have 1 over 2 times 3 minus 1 times 5. And then times that 2 and 3 switch places. And then I change the sign of that 1 and 5. And that is 1 over 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. Times 3, negative 5, negative 1, 2. And then I would multiply everything by 1. And this would be the inverse of A.